Hello and welcome. My name is Martin Close, and this is the Classical Art Academy online art school. So welcome back again. Right, yeah, I can see it's a little bit better on my screen as well, so we'll run with this. Okay, so just run through what we're going to be doing this evening. We're going to be majority of the painting is now all wet. It's had a fresh coat earlier today. We're going to be developing up the buildings, the tree and the snowman, and then I'm going to be complicating and adding some bits and pieces, detail, probably one of those words, adding a few dark shapes and light shapes to cut the snow into, or cut the shape of the snow in. We'll be doing that towards hopefully before we finish for this evening. So firstly, I think what I'll do is let's look at the getting the house or the buildings in place. And we're going to do that with a little chisel brush you can see here. Here we go, if you can see that. So let's pop those in now. Light and dark. Here we've got a lot of light coming in. And so these snow area here is going to be quite a lot lighter than it would be over here, which is in shadow. So I'm going to not be using white initially, but these are some colours which I've pre-mixed. Warm lights going into warm darks, cool lights going into cool darks. Let's start by popping this in. And we don't want to use too much paint, but obviously not too little. And let's just tickle them. You can see the dark area around it is quite live. So I'll use a little bit of dip. The dip I'm using is Venetian Terps, which is going to go slightly sticky, which means we can add fresh paint very swiftly. So that's a little bit of a highlight. Think of this as warm highlight, snow. Let's pop some of the other stuff on. Oh, will it increase on the highlights of some of this area? As in like this, which I'm putting on now, the roof of this building in white. But I don't want to go to white straight away. Let's just pop all that in. Useful brushes, chisels for doing that sort of thing. We go slightly astray, no worries. Just like to get a clean edge on that if I can. Let's turn the brush around. That's good to go. Okay, now some of this area is going to be quite warm as well. So this snow, for example, let's pop a little bit of highlight in there. The shape I already stuck in, so I don't mean shape, I mean shape of light and dark. So I'm going to make that a little bit more defined. And take away all the shadows. They're useful. Now this kind of light is going to bring it forward, but it's not titanium white, it's just light. Now with that done, I'm going to use the same brush and just wipe that off. I'm going to go slightly darker. Still want it to be light, but I don't want it to be too light in this area. Slightly darker again. Now because it's such a solid shadow, we might even actually benefit from going slightly cool. So switching to a cool grey. Not hugely dark. Let's increase on that. We go too dark, we bring it too far forward, too high a contrast. So we don't really want to do that. Put this a little bit lighter in a second on the face. Look at the under the roof line shadow. Similar colour to this area. Purpose of this is that we want to keep its distance. If I went very dark, it's going to bring it all forward. This area of wall is not in highlight. It's not a light within the light area, so it's not receiving anything direct, so it's going to be dark. Play off is that we don't want it too dark. So it's going to get a bit of reflected light, which is why it's not black. Okay. So a bit of shadow underneath the roof line. Now here, this is going to get some light. This wall, or these walls, are going to get light, in particular this one. So that's a cool light. But I'm going to switch it to a little bit of warmth. Just put a bit of glow in there. Slightly darker on this area. Might be a bit too dark. Turning the brush to get the edge. This is one of those, you just need to explore it and have some fun and see what happens. Go too dark, won't look as nice. So we've got a bit of warmth and cool going on in there. Not going to see any real details, but I can add something later. Would be useful to have a door, I suppose. Add a path to the non-existent door. There we go. That's about it. Interesting, we got something there which peeking out from the side, so let's pop that in to form the side of the house. And again, switching it to make it lighter. Again, note, not too much paint. Not useful. Put all you need, but don't put too much. Hint of something just in the distance. Bring your attention into this. This painting overall is very soft and blended currently, but that we want to change. Putting in some real stark, sharp edges, especially as we get into this area. Bring that down. Let's do this second building. So again, we'll start with a little bit light, we go a little bit darker. Slightly darker still. Warm glow. It's in the sunlight. Well, very low sunlight. Put a shadow underneath this roof. Bend that down. Let's look at something. This is probably going to be quite dark in there, I would have thought. Again, I'm mindful of going too dark. Now that snow would wrap itself round in that area, so a bit of snow wrap round. Changing the shape of it a little bit. So small brush marks makes quite big changes. Let's see if we can just add this area in. Put a door here. Into the window there. Come back. Look at that colour and just reshape the lights with the darks. Negative space. Don't want the door to be too huge. again, add some snow feature. You don't need to put a number on the door, so I think that's possibly enough. We can move on to this next building. Just want to take that. Oh, this is a dry-ish brush. Turn it down a little bit. Hint at it rather than paint the window handle. That's all you need to do. Right, this one. So again, a bit of grey. Might be a bit dark. It's not so bad. It's a little dark, but we can lighten it up in a sec. And again, warm colour going in. I think that works. Can't stress enough, don't put detail in. The most amount of detail you need is not much. It's kind of almost it. Tidy the negative space. I think that's pretty much sorted. Soften this edge a tad. The lighter colour up into that, not the other way around. I'll come back into a bit of lightened snow area. Big shapes at this distance. Look at putting in a small something shadow which would hint at a path. If it's any more than that, it's going to look a bit weird. So I think we're pretty much done on those. So we're not using a photographic reference for this. It's probably a lot easier if we were, but we are not. I just want to take down that area a little bit, coming in. Softening the edge. Happy for our edge to be there, I just don't want it to be straight. That's better. Right, those trees behind. Let's have a quick look at this. Roof a moment. Okay, now these distant trees, it's misty, so you're not going to see the pine needles. At best, you might just see a little bit of glimmering light. Let's have a little bit more glimmering than that. Again, it's really important not to get this too detailed or too light. Try not to repeat the shapes. And have the confidence to know if it doesn't work, well, that's fine, paint it out. It's not a problem. That sort of distance is pretty much, I think, all you're going to get. You're not going to get much more than that. Hint of tree. Make sure your highlights and shadows sing in harmony and they're not in opposite directions. In other words, we don't have a highlight on one side and then another highlight on the other. It's got to be believable. Yep. As the tree line bends round, you might find it's only the tops which attract the light. Again, we don't get snow like this, I suppose, in Dorset, but sometimes it's nice to just go and have a look. The decision to put a bit light or something in that, then, and I'm just, when I do something like that, I always question it, will I, do I regret it? If you do, then we'll just take it out. Temptation is to put some darks in, but I don't think we will. I think I'm happy with just leaving it like that. Let's look at these trees. We'll do those before we do the big tree, I think. Let's just have a quick look at that. Same. It's hitting the tops, not too much. Mists being what it is, we don't want it. Yeah, I don't think we need any more than something like that on those lines. These are the supporting actors. It's not the main theme. so don't go dressing them up too much, or they'll stand out too much. Take too long to do these. I should fast forward it really, shouldn't I? But I feel these trees here are nearer than those trees there, so that's why just going slightly lighter in the highlights of the way we would see snow. Not too much. So, try not to make them all the same height. Trees don't grow to the same, all trees are the same height. Now this area is slightly wet, so if it is too much, I can actually pick up some of the dark and stick it in. One of the beauties of painting wet on wet. You can see I've picked a bit of the dark up on the tip of that brush. If you look closely. Slurp of water. So try and do this because it's good fun. Don't go too dark too soon, too light too soon. Try and keep the distance. Also, when you're putting the paint on, flatten the brush so you have a nice edge. Just helps. Yep, it's beginning to work, I think. Having had the snowman in the other week, he definitely changes the. Well, he looks he's gone a bit wonky, just for the now. But we'll put him straight in a second. It's interesting. It changes the entire theme of the painting. It adds to, I think, in this particular case, I think it really does. It's Christmas. Okay, so they're almost ghostly trees. Almost finished. Let's put that in. And less is more. Going further into the distance now, so I'm going to tone it down, go slightly darker. if this is working for you guys, but looks like it's working. It's fun, I think. Right. Now, I don't want to go any detail of dark, light, snow-covered bits and pieces down here. I just want to keep it, what's that word, random. I think if you put anything in there, it's going to distract from the main event, which is the tree. So, for the now, I think that works. All right, let's get this tree started. Where are we for the time? Oh, excellent. Right. Oh, sorry about that, and he drowned on me water. Now, the tree. If we try and paint a tree, we're probably not going to paint a tree, a good tree, because we're trying to paint the tree. What does a tree look like? When you haven't got a reference or anything in front of you, it's kind of, you know, so you'd end up with, I think, like a false tree. Try to look at it as light and dark shapes. The light is coming from over here, the dark is going to be over there. So where they join, you're going to have light shapes, dark shapes. But also, your tree isn't flat, it's round. So don't just go light, dark, or in this kind of stripy zigzag, because this won't work. There has to be a shape. Your light will have a light, of course it will. Your light area will have a highlight, a light area, and a slightly shadow area. Think of it as highlight, body, and shadow of the light area. And your dark area is the same. Will have a highlight, a body color, and a shadow color of the shadow areas. So you've got 6 values there to consider, and all the complications that you can throw in as well. So let's first off establish where the dark areas are likely to be. We'll use the same brush, just going to wipe it for the now, I think. So dark area, and we're going to go kind of cool dark because it's going to throw the warm light out. Maybe. Underneath, let's just have a quick look and see where we go with this. So this is a bit of dark, and there's no fluid on this at all. I just want to see what it comes in at. So underneath the light area, we'll put a bit of dark. Now I don't want to cover the entire area with dark because that would be a bit silly. But what I do want to do is make some random dark shapes. Very fond of the word random this evening. Now the centre of the tree is going to go up there, isn't it? So somewhere around this area we'll have a bit of, there'll be a dark end of the tree. What do they call that thing? The trunk. Trunk? Trunk. There we go. One of those is a trunk. Now, that's going to also have a dark area coming out of it. It's just shadow. We can complicate this a lot in a mo. Bit of shadow coming across there as well. Oh, I'm defining that area, that's nice. See, these little definition shapes are going to be so easy and fun to do. Maybe too woolly on that one. We've got to feel our way through this a little bit. So a bit of dark in here. Some dark shapes. So, like I said, don't mass it in all dark because it wouldn't be. a bit like you're putting in the skeleton to put the flesh of the snow on. Think of it in that way. Okay, bit of something here now. Now this is the darkest dark I'm putting on, so I'm putting it on sparingly. I was about to say think tree when you're doing this, but it's probably best not to. If you've got any questions, please do ask. I'd rather answer your queries and questions live than you think of something, or you have something unanswered and all of a sudden we're off air. So please do feel free to text message or something on live chat, and we'll get that answered for you. I think this, by the way, is the first Christmas tree one is painted. Not to mention that definitely was the first snowman's painted. I've got a short memory, obviously, so maybe I've done one before, but I can't remember. I think that's good enough for the darks for the now. We can come back with dark, we can reinforce it. Doesn't have to be oh, that's it, the darks are all in. It's a bit too definite for me. So let's say pop a bit underneath that one, maybe. Actually, I don't know, we'll see how this goes. I'm going to go and switch to light, but to do that, and I'm going to use the same brush. You'd think I'd have a few more of these, wouldn't you? But I want to just wipe or wash the brush off. I've got a bit of a glass jar with some oil. I think it's ordinary linseed oil. Just to release. There we go, so it's nice and clean again now. Right. Slurp of water. We'll do the tree, and then I think we'll tackle some of the shapes of snow in here to show you how that's done. So, cool highlights, warm highlights. Warm highlights are going to be hitting where the warm sun hits. Cool highlights are going to, it's like a light coming in from the other way, a reflected light from the snow. So they're going to be slightly cooler. So we'll start with the warm highlights. Now this colour is complicated. It's titanium white, a little bit of alizarin crimson, and some cadmium yellow deep, but not a lot. Okay, so we're going to pop that in. Hope you can see the workings of this on your screen. I wasn't, like I said, we're still feeling our way through the IT areas of going streaming live. It's the, can't remember, it's the 4th or the 5th stream. We're new to it, but it's fun. Now, you don't, like painting a tree, you don't want to be painting leaves or pine needles. So when you paint snow, don't paint snow flakes. Paint the shapes that the snowflakes make. So a bit of highlight goes in. And then we'll come up. I'll put another shape in now. This, be very careful not to contaminate with the dark, but if we do, pop a bit on. Just for the shape for the now. And we can alter this, and hopefully not too much, but we'll make the shape what it needs to be. Bring that across. Hopefully it'll look like a tree in about 10 minutes. Right. Bit of that. Using tissue to wipe the brush as I go up, because it's getting slight contamination from the other colours around it. So I want to keep it as light as I possibly can. That's a nice shape going in. Snow's quite heavy, so the branches get pushed down and curved a bit. So now we should be able to create a curved tree with these light, warm and light, cool gradient of colours which we got out. It's coming. I liken this stage to the bit where you're painting live and on the beach or something, and someone comes up to you just when you don't kind of want them to, or you could have, you prefer them to come back in about 10 minutes when it looks a bit better, but it'll pan through. So currently I'm just applying light, warm highlight, to the side of the tree which would be hit by the warm glow of whatever's going on here, setting sun, or could just be a misty forest. Oops, went into the dark. Should have a talk when I'm painting. Don't get too much paint on. Right. Could do with growing a bit. Hang on. I like that. Maybe we should do more snow scenes. This is fun. Hope everybody's well. Can't believe it's a few days to Christmas. We will be doing a stream between Christmas and the New Year. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what date it is. Do you know what? The 29th of December we'll be streaming on that Tuesday. Oh yes, beginning to look a bit like Christmas. So a lot of this is where the snow's blown into the tree and clogged together, so to speak. Quite a bit of dark being picked up, but we'll persevere. Of course, here's where you can put a bit of textured shapes in. Almost at the point where we need to complicate this out of it. So that's the warm highlights pretty much done, I think. Now, this will also be, as we're doing this, I'll also do a bit of highlighting around here. That's going to ground the tree. So let's look at what this would be. Again, we're picking up quite a bit of the undercolour. We'll play with that in a moment. Let's have a quick look. I think we've got the main warm lights on. So now I'm going to complicate it with a little bit of slightly darker lights. So a quick look and see. I'm going to go slightly darker than that. And this is where it kicks into the shadows. We'll come back and adjust the highlights when we've done this. Let's get a bit more paint on. So before it goes really dark, there'd be a medium transition colour. That's a good word. A transition colour between the light and the dark. So what we're doing now is wait for it. We're complicating stuff. I like complicating stuff. Now currently I'm using a bit of warm, could call it shadow colour, but very soon as we go round this side I'm going to switch it to a cool shadow colour. Shallow, gosh, I really do talk rubbish when I paint. Let's put this over here. This manipulation of colour, or the image I should say, using colour. It'll help it get a 3D effect. It won't look like it's been a cardboard cutout. Needs to have a bit of body to it. Warmth. As we go up, it's going to get more warmth a little bit, hitting off certain areas. This is still kind of snow, which is, it just hasn't got a good direct sunlight link. Connection thing. There we go, let's put a bit under there. That's where I wanted it, I've just seen it. Okay, so that's almost there. Right. Fix that for a minute. So wiping that colour off in the oil, wiggle, wipe the brush. Small amount of paint. Kind of felt that was not helping the painting that bit. So we'd correct that. Kind of senior moment. Okay, wiping the brush again, going back in the shadow, popping a bit of shadow on the top end of that. Also underneath that. Okay. Kind of want to get a feel for, see if I can do this, just tickle that up a bit. Yeah, okay. A bit more underneath this one, and then we're going to move into the cooler shadow zone. But not before we stuck a bit of highlight just there. Of course. I think it needs it. Yeah, that's good. I think we'd like to do that in one or two others where it's just brought the shape around and down. There's a dark there. Okay. I don't want to progress to the other side until I'm happy that I've got enough shape to this and it's not too looking a bit anemic with thin shapes. I like thick shapes. Okay, let's go now to the other side. Water refill. Right, now that's first stage highlights. Let's put in some shadows or the shadow side over here. So we've gone cool. So add a little bit of juice to this. It's a little bit thick. That's better. Now, see how this looks. Okay, slightly, maybe slightly lighter on the tops. Bring that shape around. Yep. So this is not receiving direct sunlight. These shapes are in a cool zone. When you're doing some of this, do have the confidence to feel, well, if you do something wrong, well, don't worry, you can put it right. It's not the end of the world. So just mapping out currently. Too much paint. No paint. Because we're going to leave it here, we're going to get complicated in a second. Just can't do everything at once, so you've got to do it in stages. I think generally speaking, I prefer going dark into light on something like this. So put the light in first, in other words. So we've only used, in this little section anyway, the lightest light shape of warmth and cool. And we've got the bare bones of it. We now need to develop up that shape. Again, when you see me looking at the computer, it's because I can see the whole thing rather than a small amount. Right, so now we're going to switch some of this into the other side. Complicating it a little. And switching the other way. So now we go to warmth but shadow. Do remember shape, not line. Don't, whatever you do, try and paint pine needles. It's not going to work if you do. I haven't used any white yet. It's just colour. Snow takes on the colour of its environment. So it can be bright orange in a sunset. Just complicating that up a tad. Tickling some of these edges and just making the shape that you want. And if you're not too sure what shape you want, well, experiment. Let's have fun. So it works, great. Keep it. If it doesn't, well, lose it. So I'm kind of merging, working on the edges of some of these areas. Softening, pushing one edge into another, creating the shape. I'm looking for. I'm not too sure what shape I'm looking for, so a lot of this is experimental. If it does work, it's great. If it doesn't, well, no worries. That's what it looks like when it's finished, not when it's being worked on. I think it's working. We'll pretend if it's not. What's it looking like from a distance? Tree-esque. Half expecting one of you to suggest where's the baubles. only because I did think of it myself at one point. Right, so it's getting there. You can see I'm just complicating some of these images with lines, the lights and darks, the edges. Just, you have a very simple white shape and dark shape, or light, medium and dark shapes, it looks very blocky. Mess it up. I mean, don't mess it up with a roller, obviously, but mess it up gently.
Dee has said it definitely needs a star on top.
Thanks, Dee. Now, what project you're going to be doing when you come back in the new year? Okay. I'm going to just carry on fiddling. Thanks for that one. Is it looking like a tree? Getting there? Good. Okay. Fine. No white has been used in the making of this tree. I'm going to go a little bit of darker purple. And just put this in. It's like complicated shadows, shall we say. I mean, the sky is purpley-esque, so it's going to have an effect. I must say that kind of enjoying this. It's good fun. You should do it. It's really weird. But you know, just do it with an enjoyable heart. Don't stress over it if it doesn't quite end up the tree you'd hope to have. Enjoy it. Oh well, I wish I hadn't done that one. If you do something and you go, oh hello, don't panic. It's fine. Kind of at the stage where I just want to leave it there for a minute. Okay, so we'll call that tree-esque stage one. We'll come back to it. Let's have a quick look at the time. Okay, we've got 45 minutes or thereabouts. Snowy, the snowman. Yes, good. Same principle, different shape. That's as way I should look at this. So clean the brush. I want purple on his highlights. So dip and get rid of the stuff that's on there. Okay, I feel we can put a bit more definition to the tree, but I want to get on to the snowman because this being the first snowman one has ever painted, it's kind of, you know, one has to do the snowman. So light into dark. Let's get his lights fixed. Now again, I'm putting a coloured light on because give me time. I'll think of a good reason. If I put white on, well, there's no colour whiter than white, so I'm stuffed if I need it. So by putting a light on, not a white on, in this particular case a colour, a warm colour, I got a lot more options. So put the highlight in where you think the highlight shape would be. Obviously that end. Okay, that's perfect. And now we're going to also, as we've got the light in here, I'm going to tickle some of this area in light. So that's a snowy area. There we go, there's another one. And light and dark shapes, virtually horizontal, obviously, because that's how snow falls, or it rests. And I want to create an interesting shape here of light, because the snowman area around here, of course, is dark. So light against dark. Here, let's have a bit of warm snow hitting that ridge, and I'll come back to snowy. I'll just pop this in. Okay. So some of that was a little bit dark. Notice the brush technique there. It's like curving up, curving down. Don't go flat, and don't go horizontal all the time. So create a little interesting raised snow area. Good. I think we kind of done that. So tidy the shadow line up. Now let's just work on this 2 seconds. Yeah, that's kind of okay. I'll come back to that in a minute. Right, so warm shadows, but it doesn't need to be too engulfed in shadows. So let's have a quick look at this. I'm going to paint his eye out. Sorry, I'll put it back in a minute, trust me. Join those two up a minute. I might have to come in. Where's my juice? Let's have a bit of zippy on that. So. We didn't put a scarf on him, did we, last time? Poor thing. Well, I'm going slightly darker. Let's see if this works. If it doesn't, I'll lighten it up. I just want to create the shape of the side of his face against the light snow area there. Aye, that sort of works. So big stuff first, small stuff later. My favourite mantra. I can see something which I just need to stick in, so it's that sort of colour. So there's a bit of Air Imprimatura from last time we did it. Right. Okay. Doesn't look anybody I know yet. Stick this down here. So controlling the brush. When you do something like this, try think straight lines. I know it sounds daft, but really, truly does work. Don't, try to map out with a straight line in mind. I can probably go darker than that, I think. Let's go silly dark, and we can bring it back. I don't think that's silly dark. Too silly dark, anyway. Right. It looks like his head's about to fall off, so we don't want that, do we, precious? Let's pop this round. Bring his body out slightly. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Now, let's just bring a bit more dark into the face. And definition of where the other bits go. Let's get that brush again. Where are we? That one. Nope. That one. Yep. And this colour. Okay, let's have a quick wiggle. I think his body needs to come up slightly, so we'll do that. Now, let's clean this brush off again. So we're doing the time. Yeah, good. It'll take a few more minutes and then we'll complicate stuff. So back into the warmth of this highlight. Ooh, hello. Correcting that. Now, if we get a different colour, like a in-betweeny colour, we should get what we call a softened blend, but more controlled. Oh yes. Again, I've not used white yet for this. I'm going to go a little bit shadowier. In particular, underneath his hat. We'll paint his hat in a second. Again, this medium colour where the light meets the dark. Wiping it, highlight, reinforce. Softening those in. And again, a bit of colour and dark, back, coming up, getting warm, oops, wrong one. And there's our Mr. Snowy. Almost. Dark. So now it's a question of softening one or two of those edges without losing them. Different brush strokes. Again, don't go same brush stroke. It would not be a good idea. That's our snowman. Almost. Highlight colour again, just reinforcing that highlight. So I put paint on and then I clean the brush and then I sculpture the paint around, move it around where I want it to go. Being careful not to destroy shadow areas where it has to go darker. Even though he's white-ish, he's not white all over. Okay, soften that. Add a bit of light into that area. Give him something to sit on. Or stand rather. Now, hat. Am I going to be able to do it with this brush? It's rather large. We'll give it a go. So, not black, basically, but we've got a nice cold dark here. Kind of like to put the, I think I'd like to put the highlight on first. So I'm going to go a little bit of light and I'll run it down the edge. Just in here. See that? Hopefully you can. I've got some light on, so I'm going to tickle it in a different area. Didn't want to waste it. Right, I'm going to just remove a little bit of that because there's a dollop of paint. I'm going to put a tiny stroke. I think that's actually okay. Now we go dark. Okay, so really actually that's a better brush for this, it's small. Oh, look at me using a small brush. Okay, so a bit of goo to help it flow. Wrong colour. So in here, the dark colour. This is a, I think it's a number 0 dagger. No, it's a 1/3 of an inch dagger. Oh well, it's a small dagger. From Rosemary & Co. Yeah. Coming down to the right. Yes, that's the right one, isn't it? The right of that highlight. Now to the left. Keeping some of that highlight though. Just a little. possibly a little bit more than that, he said. Oh, never mind. Now going to the other edge, trying to get a sharp edge. Now this snowman is nearby, so we can afford to go sharp.
There's some love for the hat.
Love for the hat. Oh, good. Next week's stream we'll be specialising in hats. Oh.
Anastasia did a whole project on hats.
Yes, yes, hats. I mean, we're going to stream some still life as well because it's good fun. We're also going to do, we're going to experience just small sections of a painting and developing them up, like taking something which is half done and making it wholly done. Bit more go. I want to just do this rim. Right, here we go, rim. One of those edges. That'll do. I don't want to go too big a rim, but I think it needs something. Oh, look at that. Should put feather in it. Only kidding. Right, so that's that as a dark hat. Now, scarf. Doesn't have to be black scarf, does it? What have I said? I don't want purple scarf. We do have a nice red one. Should we have a red scarf?
We've got yes.
Yes. Okay, precious. We'll put a red scarf in. Kind of feel it won't be a brightly.
Yeah, you don't want it too bright.
No, red-esque. Think for a minute before you stick this in. Oh, so I think would be going forwards, wouldn't it? So okay. Let's get a bit of juice on that colour. You put blue in it. Never mix with the brush, okay, guys? Oh, sorry.
We've got yes, red, or red-esque,
Red-esque.
or maroon.
Maroon even. Oh, burgundy. It is Christmas. Burgundy red. Yeah, kind of this. It's getting there. When you start something like this, obviously I've put many a red scarf around a snowman. Start small. You can always grow. Don't go too wild and woolly initially. Wild and woolly on a scarf. Good. Right. Excellent. Fine. Let's have it. What do I do? He's got a. Otherwise, it looks like he's got a red rim around his neck, hasn't it? So I'll have to do something here. Maybe I should change the angle of his and put a. So he's looking this way. In which case his scarf would be coming down here. Okay, well, I've convinced myself, so... oh, nothing's coming off. Hate it when that happens, don't you? Right. Things you do for Christmas. I haven't had so much fun since the last time I had so much fun. Right. Jolly good. Just thought now I've got to put a carrot in, haven't I? Do we give him red eyes? Are we giving black eyes? Well, not black eyes, but I mean, going to hit him the snowman. So darkened eyes. Don't go too techie. My brain automatically states you should put the eye halfway down the snowman's face. Oh, gosh. About there, maybe. Let's get a bit of colour on. And some thing as a mouth. This is becoming very scary. I'm not quite sure. It's like Snowman on Elm Street or something. The latest blockbuster nightmare. That's as far as that's as much as a mouth I'm going to give him, I think. Carrot. Right. Carrot. Carrot colour. It's got a bit of a dull carrot colour. Right.
There's a message from Chris Milan saying, Martin, stop trying to sabotage the snowman.
Sabotage the snow. Let's my reputation as the last 2-3 weeks has centered around the quality of the snowman.
It looks like he's eyeing up a winter swim in that frozen lake, or river rather.
It's supposed to be a path.
Or path. To him it's all the same.
Okay, carrot going in. Oh, gosh. The carrot. Carrot sticky uppy or sticky downy? Carrot. Right. I'm not quite sure if this is going to be a good carrot or not. Let's go slightly darker.
Dee says she's loving the snowman.
He's loving the snow. There's yours. Ooh. Ooh. It's been fun doing this. Honest, it has. Really. You give him a long carrot. Oh, look at that. Bless. And where do you stop with this? I mean, do you give him a waistcoat? Buttons. This is the last thing I'm going to do to the snowman, is I'm going to just give him some buttons. Yep. I feel the the scarf needs a tiny lift where it's hitting the light. Might regret doing this. Just there. Ripping stuff, this, isn't it? I mean, Tuesday night stream is something special. Arms. Oh man, just when I was about to go. I think we're doing on time. Yeah, okay. Arms. Okay. Right, I'm going to do a couple of, and then we're going to stuff. Right. Okay, so where do we stick them? Here, I think. We won't see the other side, will we? Oh, will we? Is that too much? And he would have a shadow. But not that deep. That's cool, spinning the sun up there, isn't it? Okay. Well, it doesn't have to be. I'll just move it. Is he putting the shadow in the wrong place? Precious. Where are you, shadow? Bit more. Tad more. Right. Okay, so snowman, I think, is done. Okay, I'm not going to put any highlights in his eyes. So let's put that brush down. Take a step back. I think it looks like a snowman. Right, so let's look at this. We got, how long we got? About 15 minutes, say, I think. Yeah, ish. So let's continue with this brush. Just want to put some dip in it. Clean it. So we got this bank. Sunlight's hitting it. Two things are happening. There's highlights coming in and going over in a particular pattern, which of course you guessed it is called random. Coming back, bring that, don't make it a line, make it lumpy. And we begin to get the effect of snow bank ridge. Here's what's on the brush to brush back. Highlight a bit, especially if you've got that shadow there. It's asking for something to go in. Get that shadow and pop it up. In other words, complicate that area a bit. Okay. Let's continue with that theme along here, because again, it's all. This is going to be vertical shapes of snow. Because it's obviously a bank, it's raised up. I'm still thinking it's a pathway. The only difference between a pathway and a stream is, well, one you'd fall in, wouldn't you, really? But the other one is you'd have pebbles and stuff and twigs and texture on it, whereas it just might be a bit smooth if it was a stream. So, but I still feel it's a stream, not a path. Confused. Anyway, can you see how this is beginning to complicate itself? All you're going to do is just do stuff. It's wet, which is really important. Try thinking about that for a second. It's because it's wet, it's a lot easier to do stuff with. If it was dry, wouldn't be as easy to do this. You'd get sharp, hard edges. I think I'm hungry. Oh yes, look at that. can you say?
Got lots of having here.
Hmm?
It's been fun watching you tortured by the snowman. This has definitely been the best part of my day. But he's armless.
Armless?
That was a joke.
Oh, harmless. He's legless. Which I should be some point over his Christmas period. Now, when you're putting a shape in, like a snowy shape, okay, snowy shape. It's not. Don't put it in like this. It's not left and right. It's not up and down either. Think of a smiley face, and that's what it is. So let's put a smiley face in. Smiley face comes up. There you go. And you've got a highlight in the snow. What isn't a highlight is a shadow, which is at the other end. Because it's dark, this is going to be a slight shadow. I'm going to say slight shadow. Let's come in around here. Now we can enhance that shadow by a bit of dark. So I won't go too dark, don't go down here, but maybe up here. Just a bit of warmth. It's near you, so we want to go warm. And wiggle it. And then smiley face it. And before you know who you are, you've got a bit of shadow going in. And if you just carried on doing that for the near ground, don't go too high up here, but I mean round here in particular, and then stage it back from here up, nothing. You wouldn't have anything. You might have a little, but you don't even have a lot. So, are we in for time? Yeah, we could. So, for example, a little bit of dip, and this is highlight. This is quite a light area, so brush upside down, and you can hardly see anything. Excellent. So we'll do that slightly darker. Scene one, take numerous. So tiny bit. No, you don't want to go vertical. It's like exactly the same as a seascape. Waves you do not want the size of mountains. There's a bit of snowbank. Harsh edge at the top because it's light coming across and there's some snow coming over and it's gone, woo, dropped over. So this is going to be in shadow if the light is over there. And that's what we've just done. But then it kind of recovers a bit and the light gets it. It's fun to play with. And it really kind of works as long as it's a combo of right colour. Oh, I can't say that. Someone will thump me. Right colour, right place. Yeah, okay. But it's just a shape. And experience. I mean, try looking. I know we got that snow currently, but you can go onto that thing called the internet and just look at some snowy stuff. I'm just using a soft brush to take away some of those marks because I don't want to see marks this distanced. Odd one or two, okay, but not loads. Right, so that's that. Now I then just want to demonstrate something which is highlighting. Sorry, I'm going to use this brush again. I need more of these brushes. What is it? Number 2 Rosemary & Co. Ivory Long Flat. Nice brush. So again, we go into the highlight, which I've got hardly any of. Palette knife. Loads. Right, okay. Oh, hello. So it bit of a highlight here. Now it's, oh, that's a big lot of paint. Oh my gosh. This is me thinking I don't have that much paint. Never mind. But you can see that's thrown that forward. Do another painting with this amount of paint I've got on this. We would only go down here because that's in shadow. So here we go. Softening that. That's a massive dollop of paint I stuck there, but never mind. It works. Feel a little highlight coming on there. And wipe the brush and remember, smiley face. And that, really got to go overboard. Like I did there with the paint. You're okay. Now, where you've done that, or I've done that, take a little bit off if you can. Bit of shadow. Complicate the shadow edge. Don't make it into a picket line fence, which I've done. Just complicate it a bit. Nature has a way with shapes. Okay, so I'm drying this brush. There's some shadow on there. I'm going to push it up. And with a bit of luck, that will begin to look a lot like a what do we call it? Bank. Just needs a bit more of not such a deep shadow. I put too much paint on that, so it's my fault really, but never mind. Closing embers of the stream. Well, I was hoping to go and do a bit more fiddly on the tree, but I think we've done reasonably okay. Complicating that bank up a little bit more. So in essence, put colour down, put shapes down, big shapes first. And then when you get the big shapes in, complicate those big shapes into littler shapes. So this is a big shape. Now we've complicated it into slightly smaller shapes. Now, how far you complicate depends entirely on you. You don't need to go down to the pixel. You can keep it bold, and it actually, I think it works quite well. But this is your personal style, coming into play. So here's where it's another conversation, really. Bank comes out, and then of course that's probably a little bit light, but never mind. And this is if it doesn't matter if it's a stream, if it's a path or anything at this stage, because it's same. It's only becomes, because it's snow on there, it's a flat surface. What you do with it next makes it what it was or will be. Bits of grass coming out, rocks, things like this, part of a tree. That is when it becomes a path. And as it glazed over, that's when it becomes a stream. Guys, ladies and gents, thank you ever so much for that. I think it's probably just a little bit past 7 o'clock. have a super Christmas. Please do enjoy. Be safe, and I hope you've enjoyed this, particularly this. Well, it's been fun, hasn't it? It's been fun. So, Christmas painting #1. Have a great deal of fun over Christmas, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the 29th. Okay? So, from Rachel and I, Merry Christmas, and we'll hope to see you all soon. Take care. Have a super time. Bye bye.